Hi everyone, so I'm spontaneously deciding to film a book unhaul. So I'm going to go through all my bookshelves, which as you can see, bit of a mess, very unorganised. So I normally keep all my romance books out in my bookshelves in the hallway, but I've got loads of romance books up here, and yeah, I just need to organise my shelves, get rid of some that I read and didn't enjoy too much, or ones that I know I'm not going to read or whatever. Just need to have an unhaul basically, because I've bought quite a few books recently. There will be a book haul coming soon, or that might be up already. I'm not too sure what order I'm posting these in, but yeah, I'm going to go through my shelves and explain to you kind of as I get rid of them. You have to just ignore my clothing. I'm in like a fluffy hoodie thing and leggings because it's a chilly day and I just want to be cozy. I don't really want to be putting jeans on and stuff just for a video, so I thought I would just stay in what I'm wearing. So I'm going to put you down over there so you can see my whole shelf, and I'm going to go through it shelf by shelf and the shelves in my hallway, and yeah, just hopefully get rid of loads of books. I'll tilt you up a bit like that just for the first bit. So I'm just going to move this out the way for a second. I'm keeping this series and obviously all my Sarah J Maas books, keeping all those. Yeah, keeping all the Sarah J Maas books because I absolutely love them. And then these books shouldn't be on this shelf because these are mostly romance and stuff like that. So they should be out in the hallway by my other books. So I'm going to remove those. Oh, and there's also this book, which I recently read, which was one that I read when I was about 12, well, not 12, I think I was about 14 when I read this, and I'm now 26. So it was about 14 years ago, no, 12 years ago that I read this, and I loved it back then, and I recently reread it because I just wanted to see what my thoughts would be now, and I didn't love it as much, so I definitely won't reread this. I think that's definitely going to be one I'm going to be getting rid of. Then here I've got a load more romance, and I know straight away this one I'm going to be getting rid of, which is One Perfect Summer by Paige Toon, and I did read this year. It was enjoyable, I enjoyed my time, but I know I wouldn't read it again, so I'm going to get rid of that. And again, a couple romances, they shouldn't be on this shelf. So I've got the Inheritance Games trilogy, which I recently bought off Vinted, and they're in like perfect condition, so yeah, I can't wait to read those. I'm definitely not getting rid of those. And there is one series that I am getting rid of on this shelf, which is the Red Queen series. I read the first book and I enjoyed it, and then I've attempted to read the second book multiple times. I just can't get into it. I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it that much, and I've heard that the series just gets progressively worse the further in you get to it. So I just have no desire to continue with it. As I said, I've tried reading this about 2 or 3 times and I just can't do it. And I've also got the next books in this series. I've literally got the entire series. So I've got the 3rd book, the 4th book, Loki, that's not what you're meant to do. Yeah, and then I've got the novella book as well, which I did read one of the novellas in here and half of another one of the novellas, and I didn't enjoy that either. So I think this series is just not for me. So I can just get rid of these as a bundle. I'm sure someone else would enjoy these a lot more than I did. So yeah, that's a nice pile to get rid of. Oof. So I think now I can put these Lunar Chronicles books that I have, I can actually put them on the shelf now. So yeah, that is a lot more spacious. I've got definitely room for more books now, so oops, that's probably not a good thing. Now I'm going to move down. So this is the next shelf, which is fantasy again, and I'm not actually going to get rid of any of these, I don't think. Well, these 3 books are more fantasy kind of ones. I think I'm going to put these up here so they can go at the top shelf. Yeah, and down here I've got these ones which I recently got these 2. That's the first one in this series. I've got some thrillers here that I haven't read. All these fantasy ones I'm going to keep, so there's nothing on that shelf I want to get rid of. And these books here, they're actually my husband's books, so they're not mine. And now I'm just going to sit on this chair because this one's a lot lower down. So this shelf, I know there are some that I'm definitely going to be getting rid of. So I'm going to work my way across this way. So I've got the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, love that, I'm keeping that. But the series that I am going to get rid of is One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next, because I know I'm not going to reread these again. I enjoyed them at the time, but I'm not going to read those again. And then also, You'll Be the Death of Me. I actually read this year and I didn't finish it because I got probably about 80% way through this book and I didn't care. I just couldn't finish it, so I'm going to get rid of that one as well. And I also recently read Dying for Christmas, which is a Christmas kind of thriller, and this was quite disappointing, to be honest. I enjoyed the first half, but then the second half was just very messy, so I wouldn't really, I would recommend it if you're looking for something like that. Some people did really enjoy this, but the whole thing just wasn't for me. I know I'm not going to reread it again, so yeah, that one can go. Now I can just move some of the books that were up here, put them actually into the shelf, which is satisfying. So these ones I'm going to keep. Lisa Jewell. I've got this book, Blood Orange, which I read this year, and I did really enjoy it, but again, I wouldn't reread it, so I probably am going to get rid of that one as well. Thing is with thrillers, once you've read it once, unless it's something completely mind-blowing you know you're going to want to revisit one day, like, I feel like, because you know the plot twists and stuff, you're not going to reread them again. So, yeah. And I've also got Down by the Water by Elle Connell, which I read recently, and I hated this. I gave it like 2 stars. It was just really bad and boring, and I didn't understand it. There was nothing gripping about it. There was no big plot twist at the end. There was no major event at the end. It was just meh. So, getting rid of that one. Oh, yeah, and there's a few here that I recently bought, so I'm keeping those. And oh my god, can you guys? And this is something which I didn't think I'd be saying, but I've read a few books by Stephen King this year, and I think I figured out that he's maybe not for me. His writing is, like, his stories are good. I'm not saying they're bad at all. Like, the stories are actually really good, and yeah, I enjoyed them to an extent, but they were just very, very slow, and slow books is not my thing, especially slow kind of thrillers or horror. I prefer it to be a lot more fast-paced, so yeah, I'm gonna get rid of my Stephen King books. I have read quite a few of them, but I know I just don't think he's for me as an author, so I'm not going to force myself to read them, the other ones, if I'm not going to enjoy them, so I might as well get rid of them and give, like, someone else can have them. So I've got Salem's Lot by Stephen King. I read this this year. I read this over like Halloween period, and it was just so slow. The story was good, and some of the parts I did really enjoy, but it was just so slow. It took me forever to get through. It made me have get into a really bad reading slump. So yeah, not a huge fan. I've also got the Bachman Books collection, which is like 3. I've still got a bookmark in there, I need to get that out. Yeah, it's like 3 books by him, some of his first books when he wrote under Richard Bachman instead of Stephen King. It's like his pseudonym or whatever it's called. And I bought this because I wanted to read the first book in here, because I was really intrigued by the plot of it, which was The Long Walk. And I did actually quite enjoy that book, to be fair. But the other 2 books in here don't interest me that much. So I bought it just purely for that one book that I wanted to read in here. So I'm going to get rid of that. And I also have, oh, that's got a bookmark in as well, Night Shift by Stephen King, which I've read a few of the stories in here. This is like a short story collection. I've read a few of them. But some of them I just couldn't get into and couldn't finish, so even though they're really short stories, but yeah, so that one's gone. And then there are 3 books here by him that I haven't read, so I've read the other ones, paid most of them, but these 3 I have not read, and I just don't think I'm gonna get to them. There's so many other books I have that I want to read, so I think I'm just gonna say goodbye to these. So I've got 11/22/63, which I've heard is so good, but I don't think I can make myself sit through this thicker book by Stephen King when I know his writing is just not for me. I've got Billy Summers and The Institute, and to be fair, The Institute sounds really, really interesting to me, but it's just his writing. I just don't think it's for me, and also the writing is absolutely tiny. It's so small. So I think I'm just going to get rid of them, and if I do want to read them in the future, I might listen to an audiobook instead, because I feel like that might be a better way to go. So anyway, getting rid of that. So I now have a huge pile here and some empty spaces on my shelf. So I'm trying to hold up my tripod so you can kind of see, but now that is a lot better. That is so much better. There's space now, space for new books, which I like the idea of, even though I shouldn't buy any for quite a while now because I have bought a few recently. So once I've got through some of those, then I can buy more eventually. But yeah, I'm going to go to the other bookshelf in the hallway and I'm going to go through those. Right, so these are the other bookshelves in my hallway. Just move the camera down slightly. Yeah, I've got these 3 here, and then I've also got some extra books here. I've had to turn the main light on because it's just so dark today, and this hallway doesn't have any windows, so it doesn't get any natural light really. So this pile of kind of romance, kind of, yeah, that kind of vibe books were from my other bookshelf. I'm keeping all of these, but I just need to fit them onto this shelf somehow. This top shelf here, I don't think there's actually any that I'm going to get rid of, because they're either books that I've read and really enjoyed or ones that I haven't got to yet. I was umming about whether to get rid of this series by Tessa Bailey that I haven't yet read, because I haven't heard super good things about it, but I do want to give them a go. So I think I'm going to keep them, and if I don't get on with them I can get rid of them, but yeah, I'm going to keep them for now. So this shelf is staying the same, and the next shelf, I don't think there's any I'm actually going to get rid of either, because I've got my Heartstopper books, the whatever this series is called, the Lucy Score books, my Ali Hazelwood, my Taylor Jenkins Reid, a couple of Abby Jimenez which I haven't read yet. So yeah, again, I'm gonna have to keep all of those. Yeah, this bottom shelf is mostly Colleen Hoover books, and I kind of collected them over the years, but this series is the Slammed series, and the first book I quite enjoyed. It was okay, yep, that was alright. The second book, awful, really cringy, terrible, did not enjoy it. And then the third book is basically the first book retold from the male's point of view, and I just didn't want to read the same story again but from another point of view. I just didn't want to, so I started it and I just thought I don't really want to waste. My memory card just got full, so I just had to delete some stuff off my memory card, so I'm not sure where I got to with this, but anyway, no point really keeping this series, so I'm going to get rid of it. It's just taking up room on my bookshelf at the end of the day, so yeah, I'm going to get rid of these. I do really like the covers though, because they kind of, well, they create a butterfly when you put them next to each other like this, which I think is really, really cool. But yeah, I just don't need to keep those. And I'm also going to get rid of these two, which is Love Struck by Laura Jane Williams. I did really enjoy this, but again, I'm not going to reread it. It's not the kind of book that like blew me away, so I'm not going to reread that ever again, but I did enjoy it. And also, again, one I did enjoy but I'm never going to reread is The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren, so that's another one I'm going to be getting rid of. And then I've just got this little pile down here to get through, so I'll leave you over here. Got a couple books up here as well. I've got Every Summer After, I'm going to keep that one. And then I've got The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I did really enjoy this, and I enjoyed the second book in the series, which I recently just read, but yeah, I'm not going to reread it, so again, that one is going to go. In this pile here, so these 4 here are kind of recent purchases, so obviously I'm keeping them. I recently bought Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, so that I'm keeping. And then I've got another book by Carly Fortune, not read that one, so I am going to keep that. And then down here I've just got a few Page Tune books that I haven't yet read, so I'm going to keep them. And then these final 3 I'm going to be getting rid of. So I've got The Loathe to Love You by Ali Hazelwood, and I love Ali Hazelwood, and basically these are 3 novellas, so they're 3 like short stories that kind of interconnect a little bit, and I didn't enjoy these as much as her main books, so I will be getting rid of that one. And then also a recent read is Christina Lauren's Something Wilder, and this one was okay. It wasn't like the best book I've ever read, and I definitely wouldn't reread this either, so I'm getting rid of that one. And then last but not least, The In-Between by Mark Klein. I read this, I didn't really care for it, I thought it was cringy, I was bored in certain parts, so I won't reread that either. So that is another one I'm going to get rid of. Okay, and I've just quickly reorganised here, so I've just managed to fit all the romance books that were on my other bookshelf onto here, so I've still got quite a few here, and then obviously those ones stayed the same, didn't get rid of any, so that is that. And this is the massive pile of books that I'm getting rid of. So there's quite a lot there. I'm going to be putting them on my Vinted, so if they haven't all sold by the time this video actually goes up, I'll put the link to my Vinted in the description of the video below in case you do want to purchase any of them. But yeah, I'm really happy with how many I've got rid of. Created some space, especially on this bookshelf. Yeah, and it's just satisfying to get rid of the books that you didn't love. Can say goodbye to them. So I hope you enjoyed this quick unhaul video. It's just satisfying, isn't it? It's getting rid of loads of books, so you've got space on your shelf, space for more. Just get rid of all the ones you didn't love. There's no point keeping them if I didn't love them. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I'll hopefully see you in my next video. Bye.